Hello everyone, thanks for joining us on the news tonight. I am Nifemi Okuntoye. Former military head of state General Ibrahim Babangida says military forces led by Sani Abacha, who was as chief of defense staff and later became military head of state, annulled the June 12 election without his permission. But the former military president says he regretted the annulment of the June 12, 1993 presidential election. All these were contained in an autobiography titled A Journey in Service. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde has more.
The long-anticipated memoir of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, a man who played a significant role in Nigeria's political history. His influence extends beyond the military circles to government, public and private sectors. His positive effect is evident in the assemblage of prominent Nigerians gathered in this hall to honor a man who stepped aside as head of state and president of Nigeria in August 1993, 32 years ago. Now, after 3 decades, General Babangida gives an account of his own side of history. The role he played on the center stage in critical events like the annulment of June 12, the death of Delegiwa, the Mamamvasta coup and the Gideon Oka coup. For the first time, the charismatic military general openly admits that Chief MKO Abiola won the annulled June 12, 1993 presidential election. He also accepted full responsibility for the events that led to the annulment of that election, adjudged to be the best ever conducted in Nigeria's history of democratic elections.
Free and fair elections were held on June 12, 1993. However, the tragic irony of history remains that the administration that devised a near-perfect electoral system and conducted those near-perfect elections could not complete the process. That accident of history is most regrettable. The nation is entitled to expect my impression of regret. As the leader of the military administration, I accept full responsibility for all decisions taken under my watch.
The special guest at the launch of General Ibrahim Babangida's autobiography is President Bola Tinubu, who was once a victim of several decisions taken by General Babangida's administration to truncate the democratic process. President Bola Tinubu recalled how he once challenged Ibrahim Babangida over his failure to inaugurate the National Assembly when President Tinubu was elected to represent Lagos West in 1992.
I confronted you, that you had an opportunity to make history that day, and you failed to do it. Why not inaugurate us? Why are you calling us back and postponing the inauguration day? They thought I will end up in jail. You came out right at the end of the remark. You shook me. I can't forget that picture. You said, you are courageous. That's an inspiration.
Now that General Ibrahim Babangida has decided to tell it all, some major characters in that episode of Nigeria's history, like Humphrey Nwosu, who was chairman of the National Electoral Commission, are not alive to also give an account of their roles in the annals of the country. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who was the chairman of the occasion, says General Babangida's autobiography is a contribution to documenting history.
You have not only contributed to history making, you have contributed to documenting history. It is an important part of our nation building to keep accurate record.
Almost everyone that encountered the man that was fondly called Maradona or evil genius still has an impression that has lasted for several decades. For General Yakubu Gowon, it is the decision of General Babangida to restore his military ranks after being falsely implicated in the 1976 Dimka coup that still sticks in his mind. Former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo reviewed the 420-page book that contains details of events preceding General Babangida's time as head of state and his role in coups that altered the course of Nigeria's political development.
His combat experience during the Civil War. His favorite commanders were General Wushishi and General Danjiba. The most unfortunate aspect of the war experience for him was that it brought him into combat confrontation with some officers from the Biafran side, with whom he had trained as a cadet, who now had to fight on the Biafran side. Interestingly, a good number of them who survived remained his friends after the war and long afterwards.
In the coming days, General Ibrahim Babangida's account of history will come under heavy scrutiny. Issues he raised in his book will be fact-checked, and many more questions will be asked, especially why he waited for more than 3 decades to set the record straight. The autobiography A Journey in Service is an attempt by General Ibrahim Babangida to reconcile events of the past with the present as the country takes steps into the future. The content of this book will also help unravel facts and give closure to some unsettled matters that shaped Nigeria's history. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Now let's bring in one of Chief MKO Abiola's sons, Abdulmumin Abiola, on the news at 10. Thanks for joining us on the news tonight. How does it feel to